What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, I'm going to talk about a story that made news, and this is something I've never heard of. You know, I never heard of this story or this person, and what I'm talking about is this young lady right here. This is Rebecca Park, and she disappeared weeks ago. First reported missing November 4th. And I guess this is out of Cadillac, Michigan. And what's crazy about this story is she supposedly disappeared on November 3rd while she was 38 weeks pregnant. And supposedly her body just has been recently found in some woods up there in Michigan, 2 miles away from these two people's home, which is her mother and stepfather. Now they'll give you the names of these people in this story. In addition to them, these people here have also been arrested. The sister of Rebecca Park and the fiance slash baby daddy to be. Now these two people been arrested on charges that are supposedly separate from the charges of the stepdad and the mother. But this is outrageous. Supposedly, you know what? Just look at it and we'll come back, because this right here is going to take your breath away.
Good evening, I'm Root Raj. We begin with a truly disturbing story that's been getting national attention. And tonight we're learning new horrific details behind the death of a young mother and her baby. Fox 2's Jessica Duknak is here in studio with the latest for us tonight. Jess?
Roop, this horror story all unfolding up north in Wexford County gasped in the courtroom today in Cadillac as new details came to light. 22-year-old Rebecca Park went missing in early November, and she was about to give birth. Today, her biological mom and stepdad charged in her murder. We do want to warn you, this is incredibly graphic.
Case, we had two individuals that created a plan. They conducted research. They brought Rebecca Park to their home. They forced her into a vehicle and took her into the woods, where they stabbed her, forced her to lie on the ground while they cut her baby out of her, ultimately causing her death and the death of the baby. This is as heinous and as awful a case as it could be.
Both Courtney and Bradley Bartholomew charged with murder and 7 other felonies each. They were denied bond. We learned officially in court Tuesday Rebecca's baby was killed, although a body has not been found. Rebecca's body was discovered in the forest near where she was last seen, just outside of Cadillac. That was last week. While she was missing, Rebecca's bio mom did TV interviews pleading for her daughter's safe return. Now Rebecca was adopted at 1 year old. Her adoptive mother says Rebecca leaves behind 2 boys, 2 and 3 years old, that are in her care. But the big question tonight is, why did this all happen?
Yeah, why and how could someone who says that they're a mother even get close to hurting their own child and a grandchild at that point? Do we know that was the intent, according to investigators, was to take this baby away, kill the baby, and in turn kill the woman? Or what was what was the first intent? Do they have any idea?
There are so many theories that are going around. A big one is that maybe they wanted to sell the baby. I know they have some drug priors. Nothing confirmed from police. And we do want to talk, too, about the 2 other people that were charged in all of this, unrelated charges. But it does seem like some conspiracy. The child's father charged and Rebecca Park's younger sister. So I still think there's a lot more to unpack in all of that. The good news is they're all held now, so some of those answers may come to light.
We're just now beginning to learn more about these horrific details. And Jess, I know we'll all stay on top of it. Top hard news here tonight at 10. Thanks for that report, though, Jess.
And tonight, the adopted mother of Becca Park breaking her silence for the first time since Becca's disappearance weeks ago. Stephanie Park was Becca's adopted mother, along with her younger sister, Kimberly, and an older brother when Becca was just 1 year old. 9 and 10's Jody Meeson now on why Park says she needed to say something.
Adam, Stephanie Park says she's speaking out today, breaking her silence. She says she's Becca's real mom, having raised her since she's a baby. She says she's been silent to protect her family, but she wants people to know that she had a family that loved her dearly, and they're devastated.
She had some mental illnesses and some troubles. She was a loving person, but she had her problems. She deserves to be remembered as the sweet girl that she was.
Park says some of the last conversation she had with Becca was on Halloween, discussing trick-or-treating as well as wishing one of her kids a happy birthday. She says Becca has 2 young children, ages 3.5 and 2 years old, in her care, adopted along with Kimberly's daughter, who is close to 1 year old.
She knew she was not able to take care of him, care of the boys. So she wanted him to be raised like she was raised in the home she was raised in, with the same loving parents.
She says she was silent to keep them away from being traumatized, but she wanted people to know Becca came from a good home.
They were brought up in a middle-class family in a very nice situation. They have grandparents, they have siblings, they have aunts and uncles and cousins.
Park says what's made this more difficult is the recent arrest of Richard Failer, Becca's fiancé, and her sister Kimberly Park on charges connected to the case. Park says she's been in communication with the Wexford County Sheriff's Office, and they're doing a good job. Everyone needs to stop with the hate online and let them do their work.
They have way more information than what is out there, because they need to make a very solid case. They did not stop working on this. This has never been pushed to the side. There has been hundreds of police officers looking for her and doing everything they can behind the scene.
Park says that she appreciates all the well wishes, but she's hoping that people will respect her privacy as they go through this difficult time, especially if they see her in public with the little ones, to please not approach her. For now, in Wexford County, Jody Meeson, 9 and 10 News.
All right, thank you, Jody. And here's what we know so far about what happened to Becca. Becca was 38 weeks pregnant when she disappeared on November 3rd. Her biological mother said she saw her get into an unidentified car, and Becca's phone was later found on a 2-track in Boone Township. A search party, including Becca's biological dad, said they found her body Tuesday about 2 miles from Becca's biological mom's home. We don't know the status of her baby. Becca's fiancé, Richard Failer, and her sister, Kimberly Park, were arrested shortly after the body was discovered.
All right, guys, there you have it. Rebecca Park, may she rest in peace. And I'm going to be honest, man, that's beyond demonic to me. What you think about it? Said they had conducted research in how to take a baby out of a pregnant woman. Do you think about that? For them to go through all of that trouble, man, regardless of what they think, I honestly believe they wanted that baby to sell it. And I'm going to tell you another thing, too, that's fucked up about this whole situation as more information comes out. If you look at these people, right, they all look like something wrong with them. You know what I'm saying? And they had the mother on there, and she said the last time she seen Rebecca, or she heard from Rebecca, was on Halloween when they asked about trick-or-treating and wish one of her kids a happy birthday. I want you to think about it. These people got this girl, took her from one vehicle to another, took her out there, forced her to get on her knees in the woods, stabbed her, and made her sit there and take horrific torture for them to achieve a goal that they couldn't even do. They knew this girl. What kind of woman goes with a man, a stepfather, and puts that? They had to be under some drug, man. They look like they on drug. They had to be on, they said they had a history of drug. They had to be on something. Says Rebecca's 2 sons are ages, and this thing jumping all around, 3, 3.5, and 2, and are in her care. The mother has them now, along with Kimberly's nearly 1-year-old daughter, and she was with child. Here you got a fiance up here, and you got a sister. Now let me see if I can find out what they're arrested for. All right. Of course, like when you Google her name, it's like all kind of stuff coming up. Wexford County, Michigan. So Kimberly Park was charged with this is the sister, tampering with evidence in a criminal case, lying to police during a violent crime investigation, filing a false police report. Robert Lee Failer, this is the baby daddy. Failer is facing potential life sentence after being charged with 2 counts of delivering meth. So he's a drug dealer. See, I knew drugs played a role in this shit. Either way, man, I just wanted to talk about. I mean, we do horrific stories on here, but I mean, when hating and like treachery come, the ultimate betrayal from your own family, people that you trust. Could you imagine being marched out in the fucking woods? You already what they say she was 39 weeks pregnant or something like that with child. Just that trek is enough to get you tired. And then they stab you and force you to get on your knees and fall on the ground where they hold you down and cut the life that you're trying to protect in your belly out of you. Cause of death, she died from that, which anybody would, being gutted. I told you before, the justice system's not prepared for the vile nature of human demonology nowadays. They're not prepared for that shit. Because I think the justice system was made when people had common sense and knew they did wrong, and they, quote unquote, tried them accordingly. Now, people have no conscience. There's your proof. People have no shame. There's your proof. People have no fear of what can happen to them after doing vile shit. There's your proof. I'm telling you, we need an overhaul in the justice system, and we need to start dangling death, not the penalty, just death, period. The people that do stuff like this. There are people that run around here and they're walking executioners in society when they feel like it, yet they don't get executed themselves. All of these people that played a role in the demise of this young lady and her child should have been put to death yesterday. And we move on to the next thing. We've seen story after story of, or you heard stories of women getting babies cut out of them because people either want a child and can't, or people just want the baby that they have just because they want it, or they can't have children themselves. That shit is crazy. It's bad enough to rob somebody over something as fickle as money and take their life, or a pair of sneakers, or some jeans, or something stupid that anybody can acquire. But when you take a life to steal a life, that's like a whole new God. Man, I ain't got words for this. Either way, man, we'll keep track of this story. It's just sad. A lot of people are hurting, and a lot of people that are out there court don't give a shit. They should already know what the hell's coming with this, as far as, you know, getting the answers they need. You got them locked up. They'll start talking sooner or later. You know what I'm saying? I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I seen this video yesterday, and it just took the breath out of my body, because, I mean, this is more of the same shit. And it's just upsetting that you really can't trust family no more. The same people that you think as an adult that you wasn't around when you was a kid. You know what I'm saying? You would think you would have a better relationship, or a level of respect would be, you know, established from you becoming an adult and being around adults. But it's not even like that no more. That's the part that's sad.